Let's start with customer persona, which is used commonly in design thinking rather than design sprint. Customer persona is simply about creating a profile of your target customer. In marketing, it is almost similar to a customer segment. That's how they call it. What makes it different is the humanization approach of design thinking. So if you're in marketing or maybe branding but haven't encountered this tool, you are in for a treat because despite its simplicity, it is a very useful and impactful tool when used in marketing or branding. For you not to start from scratch, let us use this template that you're seeing from CX Academy. While I learned design thinking from Genpact through their Luma Institute module, I got my customer experience certification from CX Academy and find their template easier to use, which is what you can see here on the left. However, for a more convenient discussion and for you to better appreciate the customer persona template, we will use a filled-in template so that there are clear example of what I'm talking about. So you see how it is filled in. In the template that we have, there are five fields we have to fill in. The name of the persona to make it more human as compared to, just simply using customer segment. Then, together with this are their profile. So in this case, the name used would be Jane and Peter. So it's like a husband and wife scenario. After this, you will have the motivation. In the example that we have, they added some background story. But if you analyze this, there are simply two main motivations that they have, which would be first is to save or cut costs, which will be their primary motivation. And then the change of their preference from just, using TV to also being a heavy internet user. After identifying your persona or customer motivation, you can then have the behaviors or fill in the behaviors. What would they do in line of their motivation? Right? What would your customers do in line with the motivation that you've identified? Like what's their actions about it? In this example, they moved or act on getting an internet, right? But also they're trying to save cost by Peter doing the setup and then Jane trying to make sure to switch to cheaper utility provider whenever there's a chance, a discounts or offers. After listing the behavior you're expecting the customers to do, you would then identify their need, right? What would be their need? The difference of this between motivation, because usually they overlap, right? But to easily distinguish, motivation is the desire, right? The desire of your customer or the person, something that they do not have, while need mostly pertains to their basic needs, right? The basic things that they would like to have, the non-negotiable, the must-have, right? In this example, since they already have a TV and their kid, especially their daughter, it is a must for them to be able to record multiple program for their family time because this is what they usually do. But also they would need to be able to keep in touch with their daughter, right? So this is their need. So you can see the difference between motivation is something that they want, need is something basic or a must-have for them. Lastly, the most important part of a customer persona would be the pain point. So all that gives hassle to your target or ideal customer, whatever stops them from achieving their desire or getting their needs, or something that causes inconvenience to their behavior or action, right? In this case, Jane has to often switch utility provider and find deals, right? This means it takes a lot of time and effort to do. Then they have the need for multiple recording, but also internet, right? We can also pitch in here the communication needs of Jane and Peter to their daughter. So if a company can recognize this need and address it, such as like offering loyalty program or a package that meets their desired needs without or by eliminating the pain points as well, then they would of course choose that provider, right? This is how some companies come up with their loyalty program, come up with bundles, packages, right? It has a direction. So you don't just brainstorm an idea out of nowhere. So if you have a customer persona, you know who are designing or for whom are you designing the solutions for, right? This is how they do it. Sometimes they set up their communications campaign, right? And this is just one tool of design thinking. I will teach you one more, which usually goes hand in hand with customer persona, but I'll discuss it later. It is called customer journey map. So, how persona is used in conjunction with customer journey map, or CJM, as what I also call it, is what we will discuss later. But for now, we will discuss and contrast to what I perceive is the counterpart tool of design thinking customer persona to design sprint tool, which is called Ask the Expert.